Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of my escapade through darkest Africa, and I'm setting up for the game of Congo here at Mini Warzone. Forgive the rain that's hammering down outside. I'm going to be playing King of the Apes, the very first scenario I ever played. I was at my friend Ralph's house, and so the board is set up with those three monkey head things. They're just representing the edge of the table there, really, on those sides. So you got the Kong in the centre there. I've got my White Men's Expedition force that I've put together here, and there's a Forest Tribes faction. And I'll just go through. What I want to do is sort of go through how you play the game, really, a little bit. So this one is just going to be concerned with the mustering of your forces, really. So this is what I've got. Now we'll start with looking at the sheet. Now, you know, some games you have like a stat card for every unit, whatever. Well, in this game it's all on one page. All the stats you need are here. Okay. So starting with the top, I've got two characters, and I may be taking another one. I'm not sure. I've got my explorer and my reporter. So I'll come over here. I've got that there is my explorer, right there. And if I come over here, that is going to be my reporter. That's the guy I'm using as my reporter. He's a bit fat, I suppose. But I suppose he's not used to. He didn't know what going into the jungle entailed, and he's quite unprepared for it. So that's my little narrative for him. Okay. So you got stats. You've got shooting, combat, and bravery. Now your successes in Congo are all on a 5 or 6. So obviously, the different dice being D6, D8 and D10, so a D10 is going to be much more advantageous than a D6, for example. So the Explorer has a shooting ability of D10, so obviously he's got more chance of getting 5 plus on that than he would if, say, the Reporter, who's only got a shooting ability of D6. So that's how that works. Next to each faction, or next to each unit you take, if they've got a special rule, you put it in there, and some of them have, some of them haven't. And what I've done is I've written down the rule. Like the Explorer, for instance, has the rule Composure, and I've just made a note of the page number to find it, whereas the Reporter has Telling a Story. I'm also taking a bearer, just one. I'll go into that in a moment. 4 soldiers. I'm using my Sikh soldiers for this because they are perfect for this. Adventurers, I've not gone with the ones that they recommend. These aren't even War Games Foundry. I don't even know what manufacturer these are. Well, they might be War Games Foundry, but I don't think they were originally intended for Congo. Bit like my reporter, but but I think they look better than the adventurers you get with the main box set, so going for that. Anyway, got warriors and Askari, Rugger and trained Askari up there. And to start with, I've written down like each unit or group and the number that I'm starting with, so I know I've got 4 soldiers starting and 3 adventurers and so on and so on. And next to that, the characters aren't costing any points, by the way, but they do have a star rating, and I'll come on to that later. Now the groups, points cost, they're strange. They're not like even number. A lot of them are odd numbers, so I suspect that's got something to do with the depending on how accurate you want to portray it, because this first mission I'm going to be playing, King of the Apes, it says here it's asking for 70 points from the forest tribes and 90 from the white men's expedition. Now I could only get 91 points with the figures I have. So what I did is I bumped it up another 2 to make it 93 with a bearer, and then what I did was I gave my forest tribes 2 bearers to make up for that, and that's the best I could kind of do, really. But yeah, so it's all down to, I mean, you could juggle them around. If you look in the main book, if I just open it up, so here's your groups. So the White Men Expeditions. So the characters you can take are the Explorer, which I have, and that tells you all about him. It tells you all about the characters here. So I've got the Karen Goes. I could have taken him, but I haven't. Retired Officer's cool. Flag Bearer, Reporter I've got in my thing. I'm considering adding an extra character each, because I've got the space, and it would just mean which character do I take? Do I take the Scientist, who seems to be able to get, he's got an ability called I Found It, or a special rule. As soon as a group accompanied by a scientist enters an unexplored dangerous terrain, roll 1d8. On a success, place a loot token in the zone out of contact with any model. So he's got the ability to generate loot, kind of accrue points that way. Or I could go with the Retired Officer, who's just awesome at shooting. He can re-roll 1s for the group he's with. You know, stuff like that. Anyway, it tells you here what you can take in that faction. So I could have archers, for instance, but I've only got 6 archers in total, and they are on my forest tribe's side. So yeah. So there's that. Oh, here it also tells you what groups can have a character attached to them and an auxiliary attached to them. So character obviously being like the Explorer, so the soldiers allow him to be with them. The auxiliary, which is the bearer. So you know, that's how that works. I don't have any Sultanate of Zanzibar. I don't have any of that faction yet, but you know, I'm hoping to change that. Forest tribes. Here we go. So I've got the Chieftain. I have him, and I've also got a Witch Doctor. Now it all works pretty much the same way as the other factions. So a quick look here will reveal how my Forest Tribes faction is composed. So I've got all the stats there that I need. Okay. Also, because I've got a Witch Doctor, he's able to do some kind of sorcery, and it tells you that here as well. That you can have Witch Doctors on the Forest Tribes and the African Kingdoms sides. So if I had African Kingdoms, I'd be able to do these rituals, but I'm doing these instead. So that's that. So basically, you start off with a sheet each. Okay, I'll do the cards in just a second. Before I do that, I'll just show you how movement works and the ranges. You've got these range tokens here. You've got the long one, the medium one, and you get 2 short ones with it. Now, for movement, we'll just suppose my reporter is alone, well, with his bearer and no one else, just to make it easier. Movement, you use the short... I'll try and do this with one hand. Now, movement is standard, like 6 inches or whatever this is, and so you're able to move that if you wish. The group moves that, and the group must stay together, and they must be in base contact. But if, say, you had no terrain or obstacles nearby, you can step out as well in your movement. So he could go there in the same movement phase, the same movement phase, so they could move there if there was no obstacle. But as there was, that would have hit that terrain there, so you would have only been able to move the standard there. So that's basically how that is. This isn't really teaching you how to play, it's just giving you a rough idea of what to expect. The other movement sticks are pretty much just for like shooting ranges and various other things, but now how do you go? Who do you decide who goes first? Well, say you're deployed, and that depends on the scenario, to be truthful. Each side has their own set of cards, right? Here. And I have shuffled them, and it doesn't really matter. And you take 3, well, you choose 3 of these, which are your action cards. Now each card has different values on. Now let me just show you this. And here's where your tactics come into play. Now, the bow is indicative of shooting, obviously, and the foot is indicative of moving. And this is indicative of causing panic or stress on your opponent. If it's in red, it means you can only, if it's moving, you can only move. You can't move into combat. And if it's a red symbol here, it means you can only rally a stress token off of one of your groups that's been put on there. And at the top you'll see numbers. So what you've got to do is bear in mind your opponent will have exactly the same set of cards to choose from, and you might think, ooh, I want to get some movement in first of all, because that's always good. And that gives me 4. Now that enables me to move 4 groups. So I could move that group, that group, that group, and that group. And that's how that works. Or, here, if I chose this one, this would enable 3 of my groups to shoot. Now, the same group can't shoot twice. Like the same group wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't be able to cause stress on the same 3 groups. That would be causing stress or rallying stress off of 3 separate groups of yours. So if I had stress tokens on, which I'll come on to probably on another video, then that would enable me to rally them off. That would enable me to rally 1 off, and I could also shoot with 1 group. Now this one here is quite a handy one. I like this one because 1 group can shoot, 1 group can move. And at the top, as I say, you've got these numbers. Now this dictates who goes first. Now I need to choose 3 cards, and if you keep these separate, hidden from your opponent, I want to go first, really. So I'm going to choose this card, which is quite a high number. And this card. This is all mostly moving, you'll notice. And I'll choose this card. So those are going to be the 3 cards I choose from this deck, and you replenish it every round, basically. I also get to choose, well, pick up. You shuffle one of these cards, and these are your totem cards, and you pick one of these. And these give you extra abilities, so you can -1 stress off of your faction, off of your group, for instance. So you got that in your hand, so you've got that all separate. Now your opponent is going to choose 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. He decides what. Bear in mind, it's exactly the same cards as you have here. And I'm thinking, so secretly, I'd be holding my cards up thinking, right, I want to go first, but I want to move 2 groups at least. So I'm going to choose that. You both put a card on the table. He puts one down as well. He chooses one. I don't know what it is because I'm not looking at those. And he obviously chooses a totem card too. And you go, right, okay, I got a 5. He's got a 5. So whoever has the highest goes first. But one of you will start with the initiative. And if you want to use that, I can say, right, I'm going to use my initiative so that I go first, but it means passing the initiative over to the other player. Or I could say, no, that's alright, you go first, but I'll keep the initiative for another time when it might be more useful. he could have put that card down, in which case he goes first anyway, because it's a 7, and that's how it works. So then he deals with those actions until all 3 are done, basically, and then that's the end of the round. Then you replenish your totem cards if you've used it, or you pick up another one. Yeah, you pick up another one, because you can have so many. And because I've got a witch doctor, if you've got a witch doctor on your side, you can use this. This is the card which you play to enable you to do one of your sorcery rituals. So you can only do that once each round, and that gives you various different abilities. So that's a very, very, very basic thing of what happens. Next video I'll probably show you a mock setup of like a mock turn, see how that goes. But yeah, this particular scenario, the white men are trying to capture or kill the ape in the middle, but because he's kind of, this area is a sacred ground, so the forest tribes are determined to prevent his capture, or at least they'll kill him so that he can't be captured. And each scenario has different objectives. So in this one of King of the Apes, the objectives are: the hunters, that's the white men, win if Kong is captured, and they get 1 victory point for each life lost by Kong. Go into his stats another time. The worshippers, that's the forest tribes, win if Kong is killed, his spirit will reside forever in the forest, and they get 3 victory points for each enemy group they eliminate. So they'll get 3 points for eliminating these young warriors, for example, or the adventurers, so that'll give them 6, and then you add it up like that. And the game turns 6. It could go to 7. A lot of them are just 6. And the turn 1 you start exhausted. Sometimes turn 1 is at night, and it all creates different effects in the game. And that is essentially it. There are tokens you use in the game, which I've put in this little bag here. Say I was causing stress on a faction, they had to draw a stress token, and they draw this. And that particular faction has that, which means they roll 1 dice less in combat. And things like that. And it just impedes their abilities. So that's basically how Congo is played out. And you just use the various dice to represent, your abilities. So some groups for shooting would have 8. So let's say there was 4 members in that group shooting with d8s. They would roll that. I don't know if you can see that there with the light. That is 3 successes, because I've got an 8, an 8, a 7, and a 1. Okay, and then depending on where the group they're shooting at is, like open ground is a d6, for instance, they'd have to roll, say they're open ground, they'd have to roll 3 successes, and he only rolled 2, so 1 would die. That's basically how it works. It's a really simple game, and yeah, I'm probably not explaining it the best way at the moment, but that's a quick jumbled run through of the basics. So thank you for watching. Remember, all brushes lead to war, and I will see you on the next video. Bye for now.